Bristol Community College, Mathematics with Dan Avedikian, Math 011, Arithmetic, Section 2.9, Problem 14. This is Section 2.9, Problem number 14. We have 5 3/8 minus 2 3/4. So I need to find the common denominator, and when my denominator is 8 and 4, 8's a good common denominator. So let's give them both a denominator of 8. Now for the upper fraction, I didn't have to do anything to the denominator. It was 8, it stayed 8. So the numerator will get to stay the same also. It was 3, it will just stay 3. But for the lower fraction, my denominator was 4, it changed to an 8. So you have to ask yourself 4 times what value will make it turn into an 8? Well, 4 times 2 will make it an 8. So the numerator of that lower fraction must get multiplied times the same value of 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. Now, this is a subtraction, so I want to multiply 3 minus 6. Now, 3 is not big enough to subtract 6 from, so this is one of those problems where we need to borrow. So, to borrow, when you subtract mixed numbers like this with the fractions, what you do is you take the whole number of the upper fraction, cross it out. It was a 5, I'm going to get rid of it, it's not a 5 anymore, and you reduce it by 1. So when you reduce a 5 by 1, it goes down to 4. And then you cross off the numerator of the upper fraction. That 3 is gone. You make a new numerator, which is the denominator of 8, plus the old numerator of 3. 8 plus 3 more gives me a new numerator of 11. Now I can subtract. So I have a common denominator of 8. Both fractions are over 8. And the numerator is 11 minus 6. 11 minus 6 is 5. Subtract the whole numbers. Remember, it's not a 5 anymore, it's a 4 because we borrowed. 4 minus 2 is 2, so the answer is 2 5/8. Now, these problems have come up before in the homework, and I mentioned that some people just don't like to borrow. They either never really learned the steps completely, or they did but they've forgotten, or they don't have the high enough level of confidence to try it. You don't have to borrow if you don't want to. Let's rewrite this problem started from the beginning. 5 3/8 minus 2 3/4. And let's say you started it the regular way and you said, uh-oh, it's one of those problems where I need to borrow and I don't like to borrow. So what I'm going to do is rewrite these as improper fractions. That's the fraction where the numerator is larger than the denominator, and then I won't have to borrow. So now, improper fraction, denominator times number in front, 8 times 5 is 40. Take that result of 40, add the numerator. 40 plus 3 more is 43. So I have 40 3/8. And then do the same thing with the 2 3/4. Make it an improper fraction. So the denominator of 4 times number in front of 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Take that result of 8, add it to the numerator. 8 plus 3 more is 11. So I have 11/4. Now started from scratch right here. 43 over 8 minus 11 over 4. Find your common denominator. 8's a very good common denominator. So I have something over 8, something over 8. Now the upper fraction, 43 over 8, my denominator did not change. It was 8, so it stays 8. So the numerator will also not change. It was 43, it will stay 43. The lower fraction, though, did change. It was a 4, it became an 8. So ask yourself, 4 times what number will turn it into an 8? Of course, it's times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. So the numerator gets multiplied times that same value of 2. 11 times 2 is 22. Now I can subtract 43 over 8 minus 22 over 8. Common denominator is 8. Numerator is 43 minus 22. 3 minus 2 is 1. 4 minus 2 is 2. So I have 21 over 8, which looks different than 2 5/8. Now, if I convert the 21 over 8 to a mixed number, a number with a fraction, instead of this improper fraction, it should come out the same. So 21 over 8, let's convert it, see if it comes out to 2 5/8. Take the denominator of 8, divide it into the numerator of 21. Find the remainder. So 8 divides into 21. 3 times a little too big. 3 times 8 is 24. So 8 times 2 is 16. So 2 times 8 is 16. 21 minus 16 is 5. So my remainder is the new numerator. and the number in front of the division remains the denominator, stays the denominator. 2 5/8, 2 5/8. Same answer. One way with no borrowing. So the problem will go a little faster if you know how to borrow, which is good. If you don't know how to borrow, you have a slightly more tedious option that will give you the same answer without borrowing. So that's good too.